Today, we are diving deep into one of the most stark and pragmatic chapters from Sun Tzu's The Art of War. This is Chapter 2, Waging War. And let me tell you, it is not about glorious battles or heroic charges. No, it's about the brutal, unyielding mathematics of conflict and why, in war, the clock is your single greatest enemy. Sun Tzu kicks things off with a statement that just cuts directly against the grain of almost every heroic saga you've ever heard. His argument is severe and it's absolute. It doesn't matter if you're winning every single battle. If the war drags on, you have already lost. The ultimate victory becomes completely irrelevant because the cost of getting there will have already guaranteed your nation's ruin. So, what is Sun Tzu really getting at here? Look, this isn't about fancy battlefield tactics or the brilliance of a single general. It's about the grim, unavoidable arithmetic of national survival. He argues that a long war is like a self-consuming fire that devours the very state it's supposed to be protecting.
And here, Sun Tzu makes a really provocative claim. He says, though we have heard of stupid haste in war, cleverness has never been seen associated with long delays. Now that seems totally backwards, right? But his logic is ruthless. A swift, even a clumsy victory saves treasure and it preserves the strength of your state. But a drawn-out, clever campaign, no matter how tactically brilliant, just bleeds the nation dry. The damage from the delay is always greater than the benefit of the cleverness. You know, Sun Tzu doesn't just speak in principles. He breaks down the tangible, economic cost of waging war. And when you actually look at the numbers he lays out, they paint a pretty devastating picture. To field an army of 100,000 men, with all the chariots and equipment that go along with it, costs a staggering 1,000 ounces of silver per day. And that isn't just feeding soldiers. We're talking about the entire logistical machine. Transport, maintenance, repairs, glue, paint, armor, the whole shebang. It is a constant, ruinous drain on the treasury. And the cost to the state itself? It's catastrophic. Sun Tzu calculates that the expenses for just basic upkeep, broken chariots, worn-out horses, armor, and weapons will consume 4/10 of the government's total revenue. Think about that for a second. 40% of the entire state's income, just gone. That's simply not sustainable. But the burden, it always falls heaviest on the people. As the state's treasury is emptied out, the government has to resort to heavy taxes on the peasantry. The proximity of the army drives up prices for everything, which drains the people's substance. And ultimately, 7/10 of a family's income is just dissipated. Their homes are stripped bare to fuel a war that's happening far, far away. Well, this relentless economic pressure, it creates a domino effect. The nation starts to rot from the inside out, and that creates the perfect opportunity for its rivals. A long war doesn't just defeat an army, it completely undoes an entire country. This pressure creates a predictable chain reaction of ruin. First, your weapons grow dull, and your soldiers' fighting spirit, their ardor is damped. Then, your physical strength gets exhausted from endless siege warfare. Your treasure is spent, and at that exact moment of maximum weakness, guess what happens? Other chieftains, your rivals, will spring up to take advantage of your extremity. So the crucial point here is this: you reach a point of no return. The collapse becomes inevitable. The situation gets so dire, the decay is so advanced, that even the most brilliant leader, the wisest strategist you could imagine, cannot salvage the nation. The game is already over. Okay, so after painting this incredibly bleak picture of total ruin, Sun Tzu offers a very clear-headed, pragmatic solution. If delay means defeat, then the path to victory has to be built on two things: speed and profound resourcefulness. And this is the absolute core of his strategy. Forage on the enemy. A wise general brings supplies from home, sure, but he feeds his army from the enemy's fields. He literally shifts the entire economic burden of the war onto the very opponent he is trying to defeat.
Sun Tzu's math here is just simple and powerful. 1 cartload of the enemy's provisions is worth 20 of your own. Now why? Well, it's all about logistics. To get 1 cartload of your own food to the front, you'll actually burn through 19 more just in the process of transporting it. By taking from the enemy, you not only feed your army, you cripple your opponent's ability to feed theirs. It's brilliant.
And it goes way beyond just food. A wise general uses the conquered foe to augment his own strength. He uses captured spoils as rewards to motivate his own troops. He takes the enemy's chariots, replaces their flags with his own, and mixes them right into his own ranks. He even treats captured soldiers well and uses them. Every single loss for the enemy becomes a direct gain for him.
So here we are, full circle. The primary lesson of this entire chapter is distilled right into this single, powerful command. The goal is not to fight well for a long time. The goal is to win. Everything else is a distraction that will lead you straight to ruin.
This really elevates the whole discussion from simple strategy to the immense, solemn responsibility placed on any leader who chooses to wage war. This is not a game to be trifled with.
And this is the final and maybe the most chilling takeaway. The general holds the destiny of an entire people in his hands. His understanding of these principles, of the devastating cost of delay and the absolute need for a swift victory, is what determines whether his nation will live in peace or be plunged into peril and total collapse.
You know, Sun Tzu's wisdom really transcends the ancient battlefield. It forces us to ask a fundamental question in any major undertaking we face. Are we pursuing some clever, protracted struggle that is just slowly draining our resources, our energy, and our will? Or are we focused on the only thing that truly matters, a decisive victory?